Game one of the ALCS in the books. Final out. Alejandro Kirk pops it up. Andres Munoz comes in and gets the save. The Blue Jays hit a homer on the first pitch of the game. They had one hit rest of way. Bryce Miller, 6 innings, gives up the 1 run, a homer to George Springer, and the bullpen, 3 relievers, 3 innings, no hits, in a spot where they needed to have length from their starter. They threw 7 guys in the Game 5 win over the Tigers. They get 6 strong from Bryce Miller, and then the bullpen is able to shut down the mighty Blue Jays to just 1 measly run the entire game. And Seattle takes Game 1, a 1-0 series lead now, 3 wins away from their first World Series appearance in franchise history. Back here with Lewis Brinson, and let's welcome in World Series champ Will Middlebrooks, as I like to call it, Will in the wall. That's how we say it here. Eventually he'll be here in studio with us as well. And Will, I'll go your way first here. The outing from Bryce Miller, he gave Dan Wilson more than he probably bargained for, more than he probably thought he would get. And look, this is incredible. I mean, this is incredible what you got from Bryce Miller.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to be honest here. I mean, he had an awful year. He dealt with the elbow issue most of the year. He was tipping his pitches. That's why the numbers were significantly worse than 2024. But in that outing where he went 4 1/3 against Detroit in Game 4 of that series, his stuff looked back, right? His fastball was back. And that's one thing, and Lou will tell you this. When a guy's tipping his pitches, you're always on the fastball. He lives and dies with his fastball, and he didn't have it because guys knew when he was throwing his off speed. So that was a big thing with him to fix that, get healthy. But he was really effective with his fastball. And I know we talked about this off camera before we started. I said they stole that game, and you said absolutely not. But you're number 4 up against Toronto Blue Jays offense, who's been banging, and they're number 1. And you're thinking, all right, we'll be competitive here, but it's going to be a tough one to win. You steal that game, and now you're sitting in the driver's seat.
Bryce Miller gives up a leadoff home run to George Springer. It took him 27 pitches to get through the first inning, Lewis, and then 49 to get through innings 2 through 6. What did you see from him? How efficient was he rest of way there?
Yeah, he just was efficient with his fastball. Like Will said, I mean, earlier against Detroit, his fastball was back, and you could definitely tell he was confident in it tonight. He was confident in that splitter. He was confident in the slider. He used it effectively in the zone, trying to get guys to chase up in the zone. Like I said, that first inning, he kind of was, getting his bearings around him, not really locating too much. I think the first inning home run by George Springer kind of spooked him a little bit, but he settled in. Again, man, this is what the Mariners needed, man. We were talking about it on the pregame show. They needed 6 innings, 7 innings from him, and they got more than they bargained for. And congratulations to Bryce Miller, man. That's a huge, huge win. And I do think they stole this game. Okay. I had the Blue Jays coming out, but I do think they stole this game. But he did great tonight.
That's fine. I'll say they earned it. You can say they stole it. Doesn't matter. It's still a win. Look, Will, when you look at Kevin Gausman, I mean, he was cruising along, had retired 16 in a row. He gets Randy Arozarena, and then Cal Raleigh comes up, hits a solo home run, the 4th home run off of Gausman in his career. We talked pregame about the approach between Gausman and Raleigh, and Cal makes him pay. What did you see in that at bat there? Because that was a huge moment for both Cal Raleigh and Kevin Gausman in this game.
Well, it's a 62nd homer of 2025, so I'm nobody's surprised he hit the ball at the ballpark. I am surprised he hit his splitter, because that splitter is filthy. I mean, batters hitting 181 against it this year. He'd only give up 6 homers on that pitch all year. But and Cal Raleigh's not necessarily known as a quote-unquote good hitter. He's a power hitter, but he still hits 235, 240. He strikes out a lot. He rolls over a lot. But he's still, with that confidence of hitting 60-plus bombs this year, goes up there, and he was sitting on that pitch. You know, when you're facing a guy like Kevin Gausman, you're going to get a split. At some point, you're going to get a split in the zone early in the count. He wants you to see it in the zone. Even if you hit it, great, you roll it over. But then he gets you later in the count, and he can bury it below the zone. that was a pitch at the bottom of the zone. Cal Raleigh went down and got it, and that was massive.
And Lewis, you saw an adjustment in his at-bats, first, second, third at-bat there early in the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to go back to his first AB here. He was looking for this fastball. I told you guys before the game, he was on his heater. First pitch, he sees fastball, rips it to right field. Great approach, great swing, gets the Mariners going. Second at-bat, splitters. I'm throwing you splitters. I know you're on my fastball. You got a 0-1 splitter there. You got a 0-2 there. And he's on that splitter. You could see him sitting on it. Then you get another splitter out of the zone there, and then another splitter to get him down, to get him to chase down in the zone. Now you go back to his third at bat. He's sitting all over. Like Will said, he is looking for that splitter up in the zone. You could tell he told himself, hey man, if I'm going to look for this splitter, I need to see it up in the zone. I need to see it where I can stay back long enough and drive it out of the ballpark. And that's exactly what Cal Raleigh did. Definitely wanted kudos to Cal Raleigh for making that adjustment. That's huge off Kevin Gausman right there.
And guys, I want to get your opinion on something. That's a quick hook, right? Like 76 pitches. He's on 7 days rest. That's your guy.
Yeah.
Let him go. John Schneider was phenomenal in the last series at managing the bullpen against the Yankees. That seemed like a little bit of over management to me from a guy who's been really good, but 76 pitches and your ace is on 7 days rest with the middle of the lineup coming up.
We talked about this. We talked about this pregame because this is his first ALCS managing in this. Dan Wilson, first ALCS as a manager, but he's played. He's been in this situation. And look, I'm not going to say that Dan Wilson outmanaged John Schneider in this game, but yeah, Will, I agree with you. Probably took him out, but he gave up the walk, and then they bring in a reliever. So I understand when you're going to pull him after the walk to Julio Rodriguez.
Hey, so many managers too. I want to say they when they have that many days off and they know all their guys are fresh, they go to them way too quick. And Lou will tell you this, when you have days off and all your arms are ready to go, those managers are itching to get into that bullpen instead of just riding that horse a little longer.
I know, but at the same time, I want to hit on that at the same time, you got a Blue Jays lineup that's rearing to wake up right there. And I think that's what Dan Wilson was kind of pointing to, like, hey, man, we don't want to give these guys too much. He might be taxing a little bit. Obviously, 72 pitches there. He's cruising. You should probably leave him in. I do agree with you guys. I think he should have left him in at that point. But you have the Blue Jays lineup that could erupt at any moment. So I do get him pulling him in that moment, giving him the outing that giving Bryce Miller giving them the outing that they needed. So I do understand the move, but at the same time, that guy's rolling. You probably got to stick with that guy.
And Will, how about the Game 5 hero for Seattle? Turns out to be the Game 1 hero for Seattle, and Jorge Polanco. This is a guy who had been 0 for 10 on the road in the postseason, and he gets a couple of huge knocks in this game, and it proves to be the difference. What is Jorge Polanco seeing? He is so locked in right now.
Well, he just continues to come up big. And let's not forget he beat Skubal by himself in Game 2 of the ALDS. He had those 2 homers. He had the walk-off hit in the 15th you just talked about. Go-ahead RBIs tonight a couple times. I think opposing teams are obviously looking at Cal Raleigh. They're obviously looking at Julio Rodriguez, Naylor, Suarez, everybody but the guy who has the slowest heartbeat right now. And he's coming up with guys on base because of those hitters above him in the lineup. I mean, against Skubal, he batted second. He bumped down the lineup. But this is a guy coming up there in big situations, and he's calm. He is calm, and he's getting the job done.
Absolutely, man. And I talked about before the game, Randy Arozarena getting on base and being able to take his walks and being able to just get on base and be a table setter for this lineup. 4 guys like Julio, 4 guys like Cal, 4 guys like Jorge Polanco getting it done with the 2 big RBIs tonight. So guys are forgetting it. Obviously, the Blue Jays are forgetting about Jorge Polanco, but they ain't going to forget about him tomorrow. I'll tell you that.
No, and you know that this Blue Jays lineup is going to come back. They led all of baseball in batting average, second fewest strikeouts as a team in the regular season behind only the Royals. I mean, you know they're going to get after it. What adjustments does Toronto make in Game 2? Really, we will, in this point in the postseason, we say, you know, must win, and this you can't go down 0-2 at home. So I'm going to say this is a must win for Toronto before you head to Seattle.
Absolutely. I mean, you think Toronto, I thought Toronto was going to get this game. I'm not going to lie. I thought Bryce Miller was going to have a solid outing, but they were going to be able to get to him. But Toronto is on the hot seat at home. Seattle quieted that crowd. You could hear a pin drop in that stadium. Obviously, when George Springer hit that home run, it went crazy. But Toronto is going to have to score early like they did today, but be able to add on. And kind of Seattle took a page out of their book today and being able to put runners in scoring position and be able to move them over, drive them in when they need to, putting the ball in play when they need to. So Toronto's going to have to get back to that. Obviously losing Nathan Lucas today kind of hurt. I hope he's okay. Looked pretty brutal with that knee injury. But Toronto's going to have to get it going tomorrow, man.
Yeah, Mariners' first ALCS win since 2001. Will, I'll give you last word.
Oh, I was agreeing with Lou. They get back to their game. Their superstars have to be superstars. They're 56-27 at home. Take advantage of being at home right now. For whatever reason, rust, too many days off, whatever it is, they got to get back. Vladdy's got to get going too.
They're gonna hit.
Well, they're probably feeling pretty good. They got Trey Savage going in game 2.
Absolutely.
His splitter probably good, better than Kevin Gausman's. It's unhittable. So we'll see how that goes down in game 2. Game 2. 5:03 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. Will Middlebrooks and Lewis Brinson right here on CBS Sports HQ. And Cal Raleigh with the big blast to tie the game at 1. His 4th home run of his career off of Kevin Gausman. And he's got 3 postseason home runs. And he's going to move up this list. The guys in front of him are Seattle Mariners legends. Cal Raleigh, already a Mariner legend. And the Mariners have a 1-0 series lead again, their first ALCS win since 2001.